Subnetting Class A's and Class B's. It's actually easier than you think. So let's get into it. So this was a request from someone that I had on my YouTube channel. They saw me do subnetting for Class C and wanted to know a little bit more about Class A's and Class B's. So I'm going to be making this video on it. So it's actually a lot easier than you think. The steps that we take the steps that we take for Class C, we do the same thing with Class B. We just may be in a different octet. So if we were given the example, let's see, 130.120 dot, I don't know, 20.20, sure. With a slash, let's say 22. That look good? So what does that 22 mean? Well, we know that it's 255.255, and then how many bits is that? 6. So a 6, that should be a 252. 6 bits, dot .0. So if we draw our chart out, 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. We know that we stopped borrowing bits in that octet, and we borrowed 6 bits. So we just draw that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And notice right there, 4 is our magic number or our rotator. So since we stopped borrowing bits in this octet, then that is the octet we are working in and rotating in. So if we just start at 0, like we normally do, start at 0, and then just rotate by 4. But here's the thing. This is only the third octet. We need to include the fourth octet as well. So that'll be a 0, 8.0. What's that? Is that 12? 16, 20.0. And we could keep going. We'll just go to 24. Now here's the thing. Remember, like I said before, this right there is the beginning of a new subnet. These numbers, 8, 12, 16. So where does the end of these subnets, or what is the IP address that ends this subnet? Well, if this is the beginning of a new one, 24.0, then that means if we subtract one IP address, then that would be 23.255. You see that? So now that 20.0, that is the ID, network ID, and the 23.255 is going to be the broadcast IP. And that's it. And just so happened to be that actually fit right there. So 20.20 fits in this subnet right here. But if we continued this out, you know, this would be what, 19.255? And then just continue writing it out, and that's it. So now we know all the network IDs and all of the broadcast IPs for any given network or for any given subnet mask. So this is the same steps that we took with the Class C. We just moved over one octet to the third one, and we also have to include that last octet. All right. So let's try another one. Let's do a Class A. Let's do a 10.100.110. Actually, it really doesn't matter. I'll even just say 1. And we'll do a slash 11. Does that sound good? Slash 11. So, what is that? 255 plus 3, which is 224.0.0. Right? Because that's 3 bits. 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. So 8 and then 3. 1, 2, 3. Rotator is 32. And we're working in the second octet because that's where we stop borrowing bits from the host to make subnet bits. So we just start at 0. And remember, we have to include the other octets. So we're rotating in this second one, so that's the second octet. There's the third, there's the fourth. Rotating by 32 in the second octet, so 32.0.0, 64.0.0, what was it, 96, 0, 0, 128, 0, 0. And let's continue it, or let's find the range. So we subtract 1 from here, and that turns into a 127, and those zeros will fall back to a 255. Same thing here, 95, 255, 255. So you see, if we just add one IP address here, this will turn to 256, so that means we have to roll it over to a 0, carry the 1, that'll be 256, turn to 0, carry the 1, equals 128. Bam, there it is. So yeah, that's it in subnetting for a Class A or Class B. You just have to remember which octet we're working in. So that's the octet we stop borrowing bits. Find out what our rotator is. Once we start calculating our subnet IDs, don't forget to include the other octets. All right. So let's do one more, and we'll start with a Class A again. 10.110.100.50. And let's just do something there, /27. So it's 255, 255, and what is that, 3 bits? So 3 bits again is a 224. We just had this 224 in our previous example, so we know that our rotator is 32. And look where we stop borrowing bits. We stop borrowing bits in the 4th octet. So I'm only focused on that octet. So start with 0, 32, 64, 96, 128, and I'm only focused there, so there's nothing else there's no following octets. So just like this, 95, 127. So that means that our networking bits are these right there. So if we were to find out what is the subnet ID of this .50, well, the whole subnet ID is going to be 10.110.100. Where does 50 lie? 50 lies right here. So it's 32. And the broadcast IP is .63. Broadcast net ID. There you go. That's it. So one thing to remember, again, find out what the subnet mask is, find out where we stop borrowing bits, locate that octet, and if we're rotating in the second or third octet, remember to include the rest of the octets. All right. So yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I'll get to them as quick as I can. But I hope this was informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.